Hi, and welcome to the Bitcoin Weekly Recap. I'm your host, Humanity. My goal is to bring you on my daily Bitcoin journey and share the news and themes of the day. Bitcoin's price is currently $98,450. It's Friday, so we're doing a weekly recap. Let's dive into the ETFs this week and see how we did. So Monday through Thursday, all positive days for the ETFs, with a huge day yesterday on Thursday, 10,300 Bitcoin purchased by the ETFs. This is one of the biggest days in the ETF's history. I know the Bitcoin amount doesn't seem as large as some of the other big days earlier this year when there were 14,000 Bitcoin days, 12,000 Bitcoin days, and such. But remember that the price of Bitcoin at that time was a lot lower. Now the price is $99,000. So to get over 10,000 BTC inflow is a big day. Just a big week. Good week for ETFs overall. Big week this week in Bitcoin's climb in the top asset by market cap category. It jumped Saudi Aramco rather quickly after jumping silver, and now it sits at number 7, right behind Alphabet and Amazon. We're going to touch on Microsoft later in the video, so be sure to watch to the end, okay? Really big week for Bitcoin, guys. A lot of all-time highs this week, all-time high after all-time high. Okay, and in other news, I just wanted to mention this ETHBTC. I know we don't get a lot of ETH fans on here. I just want to drive this point home. The ETHBTC broke a huge level of support, and I'm not sure, how this happens for the king of altcoins after a Trump win, but that's the reality. So, I like to see it. Options on IBIT begin trading. So, looks like the first of the spot Bitcoin ETFs have gotten options started, and I think there are others to follow rather quickly. This is really big for the Bitcoin market. This means a lot more liquidity can enter the market, enter the spot market. And now these institutions have all the tools to play every leg of this trade. So it's just pretty bullish for Bitcoin. This video from Saylor this week I wanted to show you guys, and it's from the PBD podcast. Wise words here from Saylor.
Now, it was a $90 billion asset class in March of 2000 when I was first looking at it. And then by August, it was about $180 billion asset class. And right now, 4 years later, it's $1.8 trillion asset class. And I think it's going to 18 trillion, then 180 trillion, then it's going to go beyond that. So I think it's a very simple thing. I think Bitcoin is going to grow from 0.1% of the money in the world to 7% of the money in the world over the next 21 years. And of course, you should just go long and keep buying it.
0.1% to, you said 7%?
Yeah, it'll go from like 1.8 trillion to $240 trillion, and it'll go up 29% a year, ARR. That is my base case.
And I've heard you say that in 21 years, it's going to be at $13 million.
That takes you to 13 million a coin.
13 million a coin.
13 million a coin.
At 29%.
Every Bitcoin you don't buy is going to cost you $13 million, my friend.
Every
Think hard.
Bitcoin. So let
He's the best. He's the best. PBD podcast and Valuetainment is a very well-respected podcast. I watch PBD a lot. He's a smart business person. Saylor's been on there multiple times. I think this is at least his second time, if not his third. Possibly more, but he really crushed it this time. Big week for Saylor analogies and interviews. He's really just a fantastic spokesperson, and he's really been yelling it from the treetops, especially with his success with MicroStrategy, that's speaking for itself. And so now I think he's just getting louder because he's right. Marathon Digital, large Bitcoin miner, raises $1 billion to purchase more BTC. So we had a big $3 billion bond issuance from MicroStrategy this week. We got Mara raising money, some other companies announcing treasuries. This is all happening at once. Mara mines Bitcoin, and they're raising money to buy Bitcoin. They're just extremely bullish, guys. And the name of the game is to borrow fiat to buy the Bitcoin for the next, however long. That's the name of the game right now. More from Saylor. Saylor's going to present to the Microsoft board next month about buying Bitcoin. He's got, I guess, a 3-minute slot, which is standard for presenting to the board. And he's going to use that time to talk about Bitcoin for their treasury. This is a good thing for Microsoft. If they want to stay ahead of Bitcoin and MicroStrategy on that top global asset list, they need Bitcoin. And I think they understand that the incentives for them have converged on Bitcoin. And this is the answer for them. And I'm saying here now that I think that they say yes at their shareholder meeting in December. And they do the due diligence to assess Bitcoin as a treasury asset, and they buy. Especially with the favorable FASB rules coming in 2025, where you can mark your Bitcoin mark to market rather than the lowest point it traded at that quarter, which had previously been the rules. There's a big accounting change coming in 2025. Huge. It matters a lot. And the all-time high. I on my trading view, I saw it at $99,849. We are so freaking close to $100,000 this week. It was a huge week. We started in the low 90s, and now, we're just tapping on 100K, and we're so close. I think we have a little bit of resistance at 100K, and kind of what I wanted to end the video with is kind of a little bit of my thoughts on where Bitcoin goes from 100K, especially after seeing all the bullish news this week in treasuries, in credit markets, in nation-state adoption. There seems to be galvanizing support at the federal level for the Bitcoin Reserve. There are different states that hold Bitcoin in their pensions. There are different state legislatures that are calling for state Bitcoin reserves. And I think this is all really culminating rather quickly and kind of snowballing. Looks like 2025 is just going to be a massive influx of capital into Bitcoin. I think that we're going to see a lot of Bitcoin treasuries at the state level, at the nation state level, not just in America, but elsewhere as well. I think other nations are going to announce that they've been stockpiling and make it public. I think we're going to see more nation-state Bitcoin mining with nation-state resources. I wonder if we see the U.S. talking about Bitcoin as a matter of national defense in 2025. Maybe we see that later, but it's possible we see it in 2025. It just looks like an incredibly, incredibly bullish year for Bitcoin and crypto, frankly, whether you think that's right or wrong, but it does look like it's going to be good for the entire market. I think the cream will rise to the top. I really do feel that way. I think this cycle is going to be dominated by Bitcoin and its institutionalization as pristine collateral. This is a big couple years. It's possible that we see a muted bear market, if any at all. Maybe we see a 30 to 50% correction sometime in 2025 or 2026. But if nation states hop on, if individual states hop on, if international nation states hop on, and international corporations invest with their treasuries, this could just get really weird for a couple of years. It could be a long bull market, a multi-year bull market, and I'm pretty reactionary when it comes to that. I'm not anticipating that, but it is growing a little bit in my mind, that kind of mania. So I'm just thinking about that, and I want people to be aware of that and maybe preparing for that if you agree. That's just how I see things, and as things continue to unfold, I want to be kind of up to date with the current landscape of the market. So that's what I'm sharing, that's what I'm noticing, that's what I'm feeling, and that's what I'm thinking. So I wanted to let everybody know. So biggest week in Bitcoin, essentially. Biggest week in Bitcoin history. So much going on. All of these global incentives in so many different ways at every level are just converging on Bitcoin seemingly at the same time. It's a special time to be in Bitcoin. It's a special time to study Bitcoin. It is a special asset, and it looks like the world is realizing that. And I want to come on here and share that with you. It's just such a massive week in Bitcoin. Also mentioned Cynthia Lummis this week. You know, she's been on CNBC and other networks touting her Bitcoin bill, saying that we can convert our gold reserves into Bitcoin directly. We don't have to use any additional printed money to purchase the Bitcoin. That's huge language coming from a politician. It's huge language. That coupled with the Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, I think Bitcoin and its acceptance among the current political landscape in DC and politicians, combined with the Department of Government Efficiency, I think that they are intertwined, and I think that they are related. I think that we could see some Malay-style deregulation happening here in the U.S. in the new administration. And if that should happen, which is what I'm anticipating, we could see decades happen in a matter of weeks, and things just go absolutely parabolic. I'm staying humble, but every day that seems a little bit more likely. And I wait for other news and things coming out to that effect. I'm trying to think of anything else that I might have missed from this week that I want to let you guys know. Oh, China is allowing individuals to hold crypto assets. That's huge. That's huge too. So generally, I haven't been here for much of that, but from what I understand from prior cycles, China bans and unbans crypto. Like they'll unban it right as the real part of the bull run is about to get going, and then they'll ban it again. Maybe not this time, but previously they banned it when like the bear market starts, or when they want to like take advantage of getting ahead and don't want money coming out of their system. So interesting stuff happening. Huge week in Bitcoin. Thanks for coming to the weekly recap. Again, I'm Humanity. I want to bring you Bitcoin content as much as I can. Study Bitcoin, never stop. It's an endless rabbit hole. Thanks for coming this week. Take care.